One of the things that you experienced over in Iraq, though, again, ties in a little bit to the business you're in today, and that is seeing the burn pits and the trash in the cities, and just sort of everything gets thrown in the fire, resulting in some sort of black smoky haze. Tell us about that experience while you were going through it, and how it sort of shaped you both physically and mentally.
Yeah. So, I think it's 4 million plus veterans today, and unfortunately, this doesn't include Vietnam. I believe it's just the Iraq and Afghanistan suffer lasting effects from the burn pits overseas. If you don't know what the burn pits are, which I think everybody listening here does, it's just football field size burn pits where the U.S. is burning all the trash overseas rather than hauling it out of there. And in some of the larger cities, you would see the cities burning it as well, but a majority of that was the U.S. military burning it. As a pilot, if you kind of picture, black smoke goes up, and then about 1,000 feet or so, the wind starts to carry it left or right. That's where we spent a majority of our day was flying through where that smoke was at. We actually used burn pits as checkpoints at night because you could see them from 10 miles away. So it gave you a good reference because they burn 24/7. We joked while we were in Iraq that we were all going to get lung cancer from the burn pits, and it was kind of the running joke. The reality is, we got back. For me, I got back, and we don't run a lot when you're in Iraq, so you got back, and I struggled to run as well as I had prior to deploying. At first, I just thought it was being out of shape for a year. But I never did get the 2-mile run time down to where it was prior. I was always great at PT tests, and now I was pushing just to make my minimum run time. So had a lot of trouble breathing while I was running, and later, I started going to the doctor, trying to figure out why I was, coughing and having breathing issues. And over time, we've really learned to understand that it was a lot of the dioxins. That was probably in all the plastic water bottles that we were drinking out of that were being burnt on a daily basis that were in that smoke. And inhaling that really messed up my lungs permanently. So that was, to your point, kind of what gave me the drive to create a plastic-free business model.
Well, and I'll get to that momentarily. But you just triggered something that I think probably our veteran radio listeners are thinking about, in that it makes sense to them that pilots are flying through this stuff, even as it tries to disperse in the air. But did the Army discharge you under any sort of medical discharge, or did VA recognize what you were experiencing? Like, hey, man, my lungs don't work the same way. I can't get back to my run times. How did that play out for you?
Listen to this full episode and more on the Apple Podcasts app, Blog Talk Radio, Google Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. And now streaming on Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify.